Hello, everybody. I can scarcely think of a better way to wrap up a fantasy football draft than with a surprise, quick-hit episode of the OG. I have two of my favorite OGs on my right and left. Over here, the Hammer, Greggo. Over here, the great Norm Hitzges. Now, you may ask, why are we doing this? Well, because while we were doing our fantasy football draft, news was made. Let me read just to make sure I don't get anything wrong. The Dallas football Cowboys have traded four-time Pro Bowl edge rusher Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers. In exchange, the Cowboys received three-time Pro Bowl defensive tackle Kenny Clark and two first-round draft picks, 2026, 2027. Parsons agreed to a four-year, $188 million contract with the Packers that includes $120 million fully guaranteed at signing and $136 million in total guarantees. That makes him the highest-paid non-quarterback in NFL history. So, this did not end like I thought it was going to end. I thought that it would play out for a while and everybody would be talking about it. And then somewhere between now, the start of the season, they'd get everybody in there. Everybody would get their head right. They'd get him signed. He may or may not tell people he was happy, but the thing is, he would be signed and he would be here. And now we see that that's not how this is going to go, Norm.
Well, 4 weeks ago on my podcast on Sunset Lounge, I said this felt very different to me than Dak or CD. These people started bitching each other, and I mean big time, personal. And Parsons doing insulting things, lying down on the medical table, not wearing his jersey, saying, oh, it's my back, I've got to go see another doctor. And Jerry giving us God knows how many stories about the negotiation. But Mike, I'm not sure this wasn't where the Cowboys wanted to go all the time. That they let this get personal and public so that their fans would understand, well, they had to trade Micah. The Cowboys have a major problem. They have screwed up their salary cap. And adding Parsons next year at $45, $46, $47 million a year, this team would have been screwed. I'm not sure this is the outcome they wanted all along. And one last thing, what's the biggest problem the Cowboys had defensively? They couldn't stop the run. Mozzie Smith couldn't stop Greggo from running. And now Mozzie Smith's a thing of the past.
Yeah.
And they've got a stud to play that defensive tackle. And with Nealon, who is a run stopper at one end, Odigizua, who's a fine player at defensive tackle, and Clark at the other defensive tackle can stuff the run, people will not be able to run willy-nilly against the Cowboys.
Okay, this is all well and good, and I think that all does make sense. You know, when I was having internal conversations with myself, I would wind up a lot of the time in that general area. But, Greggo, how do they make this right with their fans?
They can't. They just simply can't. I mean, you've got a Metroplex that's just now coming down from the Luka trade, and that does factor in here because it is sports fans you're talking about. And there is a lot of Maverick fans that are Cowboy fans, right?
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, you've had two generational players traded. They weren't in the mood for this. I don't know how they recover. I'm stunned. I don't get stunned by sports stories very often because I think I've seen everything. But this right here, I was taking the attitude of, right, yeah, he's not going to play, sure. And it's going to get done.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
If you're going to make a choice between the holy trinity of your quarterback, your wide receiver, and the pass rusher, man, you can find you a wide receiver every year. There's a CD Lamb in every single draft, maybe a couple of them. Micah Parsons comes around about once a decade.
Greggo, you're spot on. It's last year's $34 million a year to Lamb that confused things. But I will say this. Parsons played an outside linebacker or defensive end. Well, their defensive ends now are pretty solid. Williams is back from injury. Fowler signed here. Nealon was the number 2 draft choice last year. I don't think anybody realizes the kid Ezeraku from Boston College can play a stand-up linebacker. He's a really good player, and I think that guy steps in to the vacant spot. Now, going to replace Micah? No. But Mozzie Smith has been told to go home and replaced by a stud.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, Kenny Clark is a no problem at all. I mean, he's a heck of a player. He's a proven player. He's what this team needed. But no offensive coordinator is going to game plan against him. You don't game plan against a nose tackle. But every single offensive coordinator had nightmares with Micah Parsons. What do you do with him? Where's he at? My God, he's over here. He's coming from here. Where do you block him? He's a nightmare. And he's gone.
Well, let me just add to Greggo's comment about offensive coordinators. You're very right there. Except offensive coordinators did game plan against Mozzie Smith. Run the ball right down his throat. That guy right there.
That's true. But you just –
So this is kind of in a sense, and this is not a real good analogy, but I think you see where I'm going with it. This is kind of a rob Peter to pay Paul situation a little bit.
Well, with the money they save on Parsons, 45, 46, 47 million a year, they can keep Deron Bland. So it was Parsons for 2 first-round draft choices, Kenny Clark and Deron Bland. That makes the deal sound a lot better. If they don't use the money on Deron Bland, they use it on George Pickens.
Yeah.
Once again, it's hard to construct a team when you pay your pass rusher, your quarterback, and your wide receiver $100 million a year.
Or more.
And that's what they were looking at.
How about 130? They were against the cap next year.
It's just hard to do that.
They were looking at 130 plus.
But if you're going to squeeze players, squeeze somewhere else, not with this guy. I mean, he kind of fell in your lap at 11.
Yep.
Kind of fell in there. He outperformed what he was supposed to do. Everybody knew he was going to be a first rounder. Everybody knew he was going to be a good player. Not like he was. He's gone.
Yep, he is.
And we haven't even gotten the fact, I don't think they got near enough for him. 2 first-round picks? They should have got 2 2s.
Well,
and maybe a 3.
And, Greggo, I want to add to that. Those 2 first-round picks of the Packers are going to be very late picks.
Yeah,
You're
27.
talking past 25.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you guys this. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No.
Do you think the Cowboys were dealing from any kind of position of strength here?
You know what, Rons? I don't know what to think. I really don't, because this has gone against everything Jerry's ever done.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, and I hate to say this because I haven't talked to Jerry in 20 years, but is he losing it a little bit?
And if he is, what's anybody doing about it?
Well, I mean, is he? I mean,
know.
this is not a good move.
Do they have anybody who can tell him that, though?
No, of course they don't. But
No.
but are we seeing that? And I don't think it's a cheap shot to bring that up, because he's not acting like he did 5 years ago. I mean, he's acting peculiar.
This is why I always thought the way I did, because I thought Jerry would act the way he always does. And that is, these things play themselves out for a while, and then at some point, right before the start of the season, they get them in there. Everybody gets their head right. They agree on everything. They get everything signed, and off we go.
Well, wait a minute. I'm going to ask something, though. Zeke Elliott went through this. Zach Martin went through this. Dak went through it. CeeDee Lamb went through it. Did it ever get personal?
No.
None.
No.
But it got personal here. Jerry felt he had a deal in March. The agent for Parsons said, whoa, he doesn't do the deal. I do the deal. And look at how correct Mugoletta was. If Jerry offered the highest non-paid quarterback contract in the league in March, that would have been $36 million. What did Parsons get? $47 million. This agent was brilliant in this whole thing.
Yeah, and if there's one place here where I think Jerry really screwed up, it's the fact that he adopted this stance of, I don't talk to the agent. If I'm going to do deals with these guys, they're going to come in here, we're going to sit down, we're going to do it. Them and me.
That's against the CBA. You can't. That's a violation. I don't know how he gets away with it.
I know, but apparently he doesn't care about that.
That's the leavings of a large farm animal. I'm sorry. When he got the deal done with Dak, he did it through his agent. When he got the deal done with C.D. Lamb and so on and so on, you and the player can agree to something. But until the agent has said, okay, show me the 12 pages. Mm-hmm. Type them out for me, and let me look at it. And he and Parsons had some kind of conversation in March. But I am guessing from what happened that the agent said, oh, dear God, Micah, no, you don't want to do this. And Jerry took it personally. Then he started these little insults of Parsons. When he went on the field and the fans chanted, pay Micah, pay Micah, pay Micah. He says, when he was asked about it, oh, well, last year the Lamb thing was a lot louder than that. And, he went back on his word baloney, and I don't deal with agents. All that's the leavings of a large farm animal. And Micah got insulted. Hey, there's blame on both sides.
There is. Yeah. But I think that's something that somebody who may not be qualified to do this kind of thing any longer would say, where all of a sudden, I don't deal with agents.
Yeah.
If you don't deal with agents, then you are unlike anybody who runs any team in any sport.
You can turn it over to a person like Adam Parsifka to work out details on their staff. But in the end, Parsons and his agent and the guy who runs the club, they say, good with you, good with me. Hand me a pen.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you,
because what an owner wants to do is give them a big number, and I'm just going to say, I'm going to give you $200 million, and the player goes, oh, great, I'll take that, and then the agent looks at her and goes, yeah, you're getting $200 million, but it's going to take you 50 years to get it.
Well,
and so it's always, the devil is always in the details. I made that up, Ron, just now. Devil in the details.
And look at what Parsons got. Parsons got more than I think he could have ever imagined. At $47 million a year, that's $6 million a year more than the next highest paid non-quarterback in the league. And $6 million a year.
And if he thinks, and I'm going to go ahead and say, if he thinks that the Dallas Cowboy fans in Dallas love him, wait till he gets a load of those people in Green Bay.
My God,
they are going to fall in love with him.
Man, he better get ready for a whole new experience.
Man, remember how Reggie White just kicked the door in and owned that town? Yeah. That's what Micah's going to do. He's the same type of player. He's going to go in there with his podcast. He'll be friendly to everybody. You don't have the big giant media on him at all time. He's going to thrive in Green Bay.
I think this thrusts Green Bay to the very top level of teams in the league.
They were already pretty good.
It does.
They didn't have to give up their pass-rushing defensive end, Rashawn Gary, in this deal. They are going to be able to really rush the passer.
Boy, they played this right, Green Bay. Man, they had the deal that they had their max deal of what they would do, and they had it ready. And the first time that it was available, they jumped on it and didn't let him leave. They didn't let him leave.
You don't think they dealt with the agent, did you?
Oh, they dealt with the agent.
Well, we're getting arms folded
dang.
and scowling face from the boss lady there. That means it's time for us to wrap this up. So thank you for watching. This is the OG. That's Norm. That's Greggo. I'm Mike. And that's it for us for today. Thank you very much. Enjoy your Cowboys season. Bye. This is a Stolen Water Media production.